Hello, and welcome to the Create Better Health Nutrition course. This episode is over the topic of protein and safety. This is presented by the Abilene-Taylor County Public Health District. So let's jump into it. Protein is a very important building block for pretty much every single part of our body. It helps our body grow and heal and is overall just very important to maintaining our health. Some common sources of protein are things such as fish, eggs, beef, chicken, pork, beans, lentils, tofu, nuts, and milk. So there are a lot of different ways in order to incorporate protein in order to make sure that you are getting that essential building block. So how much protein should we be getting every day, and what does it even look like? 1 ounce of protein can look like a lot of different things, such as it can look like 1 medium egg or 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. It can also look like 1/4 cup of cooked beans or 1 slice of deli sliced turkey breast. So it can look like a lot of different things. Typically, typically the amount of protein a person needs depends on their body, like it does with everything. People need different amounts of fruits, vegetables, dairy, grains, depending on themselves, their lifestyle, their body. However, typically we recommend about 5.5 ounces of protein. Protein sizes for animal protein. So typically with animal protein, it kind of falls into a 3 ounce. So 3 ounces of animal protein could look like a small chicken breast or a small lean burger patty or 1 can of drained canned tuna. So if you eat one of those things, and you're already halfway there for how much protein you need in a day, which kind of puts in perspective how much protein we usually eat in a day versus how much we may need, which of course depends on the person. Typically, whenever we're looking for protein, we want to kind of lean towards lean protein. So lean proteins are low-fat sources of protein. And generally, lean proteins are healthier for our hearts as well as different other parts of our body. Some examples of lean protein could be things such as skinless chicken breasts, having lean lunch meats, fish, beans or lentils, or tofu. Then onto food safety, because a lot of proteins, at least animal-based proteins, they need to be cooked. So we really want to make sure that we are being safe with our food just overall, because not handling food correctly can lead to things such as severe illness or even death. So some basic rules for whenever you're handling food. You want to make sure that you clean your hands and surfaces frequently. So washing your hands before, washing it in between every different type of food that you're touching, and making sure that you're wiping down any sort of surfaces that might lead to cross-contamination, as well as separating your raw, cooked, and ready-to-eat foods. So you really want to make sure that you do separate these different categories of food from each other in order to make sure that everyone is staying healthy. And of course, cooking foods to a safe temperature. So for beef, pork, and fish, you want to cook it to the internal temperature of 145 Fahrenheit. And for chicken, you want to cook it to 165 Fahrenheit. As well as you want to make sure that you are chilling your foods properly as well as thawing them properly. So some ways to thaw your food is by putting a frozen item in the fridge on the lowest shelf away from any other foods. And typically that will take around 24 hours in order to fully defrost. Or you could use a microwave to thaw the frozen item, but then you want to make sure that you do cook it immediately. You don't ever want to thaw something like that as the microwave partly cooks it and refreeze it, as that would cause the buildup of bacteria and make the food unsafe. As well as placing the frozen item in cold water to thaw it, and then also making sure that you cook it immediately. Because once again, if you refreeze it after that point, it can potentially cause the growth of bacteria and the food becomes unsafe. Thank you so much for watching. Our next episode is going to be over the topic of whole grains.